Well, welcome back, everybody. It's 2019. This is Jason Stapleton, and I'm so glad that you are going to be joining me on this adventure over the next year, and I'm excited about what it's going to bring for you and for me, and that's kind of what today's show is about. Now, as you guys know, I normally do the show live, just record it and then put it out to you guys, but I actually recorded this show yesterday when the mood struck me. I got excited about an idea that I wanted to share with you guys. And so I recorded it, and I recorded it without any advertisements. And when I got done, I re-listened to the episode, and I thought, you know what? No, this show needs to stand on its own. It needs to be one cohesive thought. I don't want to break it up by inserting advertising slots throughout, but at the same time, I really am grateful for the advertisers that we have and for all the support that they show to us. And so I thought today, for one day only, I would record this show and release it to you guys without any advertisements interrupting it. But I do want to tell you about those advertisers before we get started, because frankly, they're the only reason that I'm allowed to do this show and that you are allowed to listen to it, is because the advertisers make all of that possible. And so I just wanted to let you guys know how appreciative I am for you guys and for the listenership and for your patience and your continued support of this show. And so let me tell you a little bit about the advertisers today, and then we'll get right to the meat of the episode. So first one that we have is Oxford Road. Guys, I absolutely love these guys. You do not need to spend a fortune to get a great night's sleep. First of all, what you need some really nice sheets. And that's why I love Boll & Branch. They have 100% organic cotton sheets. These are so wonderful. I own a pair of them. And the more you wash them, the softer they get, like one of those cotton T-shirts. Everybody's got one in their drawer that they've washed 100 times, and every time they put it on, it just feels good. That's what these sheets are like. They actually get better with age. They get better the longer you have them. And since Boll & Branch sells exclusively online, you don't pay the expensive retail markup. That's half the price for twice the quality. You'll love these sheets. Try them for 30 nights to see for yourself, and if you're not impressed, return them for a full refund. Go to bollandbranch.com today, and you'll get $50 off your first set of sheets with free shipping when you use the promo code Stapleton. That's $50 off plus free shipping right now at bollandbranch.com, spelled B-O-L-L and branch.com, promo code Stapleton, bollandbranch.com, promo code Stapleton. Really love these guys. They've been a sponsor for a long time. Really proud to have them as part of the team. Then, of course, Policy Genius. You guys know that if you're going to be successful in life and in death, you're responsible for yourself, and that means making sure nobody else has to pay a fortune to put you in the ground after you're gone. That's where Policy Genius comes in. If you've been confused, if it seems overwhelming, you don't really want to talk to the sales guy who's pretending to try and help you, maybe you check out Policy Genius, the easiest way to get life insurance in minutes. Compare quotes from top insurers, and find the coverage you need at the price you can afford. PolicyGenius.com handles all of the red tape. They get through all of it for you. They make life insurance easy, whether you're shopping for disability insurance to protect your income, homeowners insurance, auto insurance. They can help you get coverage fast. I've been there. I've tried them out. They're excellent. And if you've been intimidated and frustrated by insurance in the past, try starting your search at PolicyGenius.com. In minutes, you can compare quotes and apply. You can do the whole thing on your phone right now. PolicyGenius.com, the easy way to compare and buy life insurance. Guys, a really great company. Really great company, and something that you all need to check out if you don't have it already. Term life insurance is super cheap. All of you should own it, especially if you have families or kids or anybody who relies on you to provide for them in life, because in your death, they're going to need something to keep them going, and it's your responsibility. So go check them out. Okay, last one is Skillshare, the online learning community with more than 25,000 classes. That's right. Since I last read this, 5,000 classes more than what we had before. 25,000 in design, business, and more. You'll discover countless ways to fuel your curiosity, creativity, and career. Take classes in social media marketing, mobile photography, creative writing, and even illustration. Whether you're looking to discover a new passion or start a side hustle or gain professional skills, Skillshare is there to keep you learning, thriving, reaching for new goals. I love them. Absolutely love them, and you're going to love the price. Wait till you hear this. Join the millions of students already learning at Skillshare today with a special offer just for my listeners. Get 2 months of Skillshare for free. That's right. Skillshare is offering my listeners 2 months of unlimited access for free. It doesn't get better than free. You remember last year was 2 months for 50 cents. They're making it even better. 2 months for free. Sign up at Skillshare.com/Stapleton. Again, go to Skillshare.com/Stapleton to start your 2 months now. Skillshare.com/Stapleton. You have no excuses now. If you had any excuse before, you have no excuse now. Absolutely free. Skillshare.com/Stapleton. Guys, those are our sponsors for today. This is one of my favorite episodes, probably my favorite episode in the last 6 or 8 months. I really felt like I felt like I was offering some legit advice and some legit insights into life and into success and into excellence and achievement. And so I really hope that you liked this episode. If you did, do me a favor, send me a comment at jason@jasonstapleton.com, or you can hit me on Twitter at Jason_Stapleton. And as always, if you'd like to join the private Facebook group, it's jasonstapleton.com/members. We'd love to have you in there. And without further ado, here you go. Well, welcome back, everybody. This is the Jason Stapleton program, broadcasting from beautiful, sunny Southern California. I'm so glad you're welcoming the new year in with me. It's actually not the new year. We're way past the new year, but at the same time, this is the first show of the year, so I appreciate you all being here. Matt and everyone are doing this show on a Friday. Don't ask me. This is just the way the timing worked out. Is that I got a show on Friday, and then we're Monday back in the studio again. Now remember, this year 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're doing all of that. So Matt's going to be in studio with me 3 days a week. We'll be doing the show. But I thought for this first show today, I would spend a little bit of time doing something that you probably are used to or accustomed to doing at the beginning of the year, or hearing people talk about at the beginning of the year. But I want to try and talk about it in a little different way than maybe you have heard it discussed before. And of course, I'm talking about this whole concept of New Year's resolutions and what we're going to try and accomplish this year and all of that type of hullabaloo. And I titled this show "Excellence is Lonely," and there was a book that I was rereading, while over break, I actually read 2 books over the course of the holiday. The first one was "Relentless" by Tim Grover, I believe was his name. Let me pull it up for you just so you guys know. But Tim Grover, excellent. Let's see, Relentless. Oh, I got better type in book. Relentless book. The Relentless book by Tim S. Grover was one of the books that I read. I've actually read this book before, but it was many years ago, and so I read it again and absolutely loved it. It reminded me a lot of it kind of set things, the perspective correct for this year, which is a big part of what I want to talk to you about. And the other book that I read while I was over the holidays was The Formula. Formula book. I should have pulled these books before. Okay, here it is. It is The Formula, A Universal Law of Success by Albert Lazzalo Barbassi. I guess has a really weird name, but it's called, again, the book is called The Formula, The Universal Laws of Success. And that is much more, it's much less of the Relentless is really the study of what makes great people great. And it's done by a guy who used to train Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and Dwayne Wade and a bunch of these other guys, and he talks a lot about it and what it takes to operate at the highest levels in any area. And I found it fascinating. He's just it's an incredible read. You guys should go check that out. But The Formula is a lot more about, hey, can we predict success, and how do we do it? And it's another scientist who's doing evaluations of and running algorithms to try and determine, well, how do we pick what's the best wine, and how do we determine who are the best singers, and how do we determine what are the best songs, and is there a formula for that will predict success, and is there some things that we can do to help boost the chances of us being successful? Another phenomenal book that all of you should read. If you spent your weekend or your holiday season doing nothing, I actually I wrote several chapters of my book. I read 2 books, and I've been working on my training course as well while doing taxes and a bunch of other stuff that had to get done as well. So if you spent your entire holiday just kind of laying around, enjoying it, giving yourself a break, then this show is probably going to be less applicable to you, because you're probably not at the place where this is going to be a really valuable show for you to listen to. Now, I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying that you may not be in a place to really gain a lot of value out of today's episode. If, however, you were sitting around during the holiday and after about 48 hours of having a break, you were chomping at the bit to get back to what you love doing, and you were tired of taking a break and you were ready to continue the hustle, well, then you're going to find today's show extremely applicable to your life. And I hope that you derive some value out of it in preparing for this next year, because this is not going to be too much of it. It's not going to be a touchy-feely show. That's the other thing that you need to understand, is that I don't intend, this is not going to be see it and be it kind of show. I want to really share some insights with you that I've discovered over the years about personal, I don't know, about success and about New Year's resolutions and things like that. So we talk about excellence is lonely. New year, new you, right? Well, probably not. Most of you will probably not have the type of new you that you would like to have. I told you this was not going to be touchy-feely. You see, every year we set New Year's resolutions, and every year we fail. Now, if you came from the gym this morning, let's just say that you set that New Year's resolution that you were going to get in shape. If you came from the gym this morning, it was likely packed with people hoping to change their bodies and live the lives that they always wanted to live once and for all. And you maybe even be one of those people who said, well, today's the day, January 1st, I'm back in the gym, and now here it is, January 4th, and you're still going, feeling good about yourself. But I imagine right now the gym is absolutely packed. Now, if you manage to make it till March, you will see a far different scene in that gym. Half of the people will be gone. And if you manage to make it to October, well, then the gym is basically going to be empty. You're going to have it all to yourself. It's because people's resolve fades as the months go by, as the years go by. And a lot of times we use the New Year's resolution as a way to motivate ourselves to get back and do what we know we need to do. But the fact is, we haven't done a lot of things right that give us the ability to be persistent the way we should. And do you ever wonder why that is? But there have been a ton of books that have been written about how the brain works and how we have trouble setting goals and then sticking with them. And if you need another good read, I've given you 2 already today, but if you need another good read, I would check out The Power of Habit by Charles Diggle, or Digg. It's D-U-H-I-G-G. Duhigg. Charles, D-U-H-I-G-G. It's called The Power of Habit. And you can read all about how we really are set up psychologically for failure and how we have to redefine our habits in order to be able to make the change that we want in our life. But that's a whole book. And in an effort to make the complex simple, I thought that I would give you some of my personal insights, having worked with literally tens of thousands of traders over the years. Now, why traders? Why not business owners? Why not? Well, traders are. Trading is unique. See, trading is almost entirely a mental game. It is an individual struggle to reject one's basic instinct and follow a prescribed plan that should work over time. Now, if you're a trader, you have to follow that plan regardless of the short-term outcomes in your performance. So you might imagine coming in, and you've got this plan, and you're trying to execute it, and it's just loss after loss after loss after loss. And after 3 or 4 or 5 losses in a row, you start to question what you're doing, and you start to make changes, and you go on what we call going on tilt, where you just start trading wildly and aggressively, and with no rhyme or reason to what you're doing. You start doubling down on positions. You start making all kinds of psychological mistakes because you are not seeing the result of your discipline. Now, we can do a lot of things with a trader when he comes in to try and help him overcome those psychological hurdles that he's going to encounter. First thing we can do is just educate him. We can explain to him, this is what you're going to see, and this is what you're going to feel, and this is what you're going to encounter. And then we can give him some tools to help him overcome that. We can be with him as he's going through the process, and every time he starts to feel a certain way, or every time he starts to get negative feedback and he goes through a series of losses, we can say to him, listen, remember when we talked about this, I told you this was how you were going to feel. I told you this was part of it. This is just what you have to go through, and we can be there as a support to him or her as they're moving through the process. So we can explain to them how they're going to feel. We can also help them discover what the true performance of their trading strategy is over time, so we can give him historical perspective. We can have him go back and help him test the strategy that he's going to be trading so he can see the results that happened historically and say, oh, well, yeah, there were many times when I had 4 or 5 or 10 losses in a row. And now when I see it in real time, 4 or 5 or 10 losses, I can look back at that training that I did, of that research that I did, and I can see this is totally normal. I need to continue with my plan. See, most of us don't have that type of historical perspective to look back on, but that's another thing that we can do if we're training traders to be disciplined and to follow their own gut. But here's what I've learned after training tens of thousands of traders in over 110 countries on what is largely a psychological game, a game that we play against ourselves, not against anybody else. Here's what I learned. 80% of them won't ever be successful. No matter what I do, 80% of them are going to walk away with less money than they started with. Those are not good odds. Okay? 15% will never make enough money to do it full time. They won't be losers. They won't walk away with less money than they started with, but they're not going to replace $100,000 a year income as a trader. They just will never get to that level. It will always be a part-time hobby, a labor of love, a passion that they have, a way to spend their free time, and they'll do decent. They'll make a little bit of money at it. Okay, 4% of them will be successful, having successful careers. They'll make a great deal of money, and then that last 1%, well, that 1% will become superstars. They'll become greats. Now, what's funny is how prevalent this 80-15-5 rule plays out. I had 80-15-4-1, but the 80-15-5 principle, or more commonly referred to as the 80-20 rule. Like, the rule is virtually the same in any industry that you go into. When I was a sheriff's deputy working in Kansas in the jail, I discovered that this 80-20 rule held true even there. I took the time to classify every deputy because I had read a book. Again, I'll give you another great book to read, The 80-20 Principle by Richard Koch. The 80-20 Principle by Richard Koch. There's another one written on marketing and sales by Perry Marshall. That's not the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about the 80-20 Principle by Richard Koch. I had read this book, and I was interested in seeing how it performed, or how this 80-20 principle played out, because he's saying in the book, it's true everywhere. No matter what industry you're in, no matter where you're at, no matter how high up you are on the ladder, everybody always breaks themselves out into 80-20. And so I started looking at it. And I started writing down all the deputies that I had worked with in the jail and started classifying them. I said, who is either mediocre to below average, and who is above average to exceptional. And wouldn't you know it, the 80-20 rule held true. 80% of the people that I worked with, I would have classified as a mediocre deputy to below average. Somebody who was coming in and punching the clock and doing their job. Most of them weren't terrible, but they weren't exceptional. They weren't above average. And then I had a small handful of people, mostly people that I dealt with and really enjoyed at the jail, that I felt like were really good at their jobs, that I could count on if things went south, and that I would want in the room with me if there was a fight going on. Those guys I classified, and there were women in there too, not just men. Those are the people that I really respected. 80-20 rule holds true. Now, after working with so many people on psychology and discipline, I came to the realization that Tony Robbins was really right. Now, I don't really care what you think about Tony Robbins. Okay, you might love him, you might think he's a charlatan. What I'm telling you is what I have seen play out in but more than 1,000 times. It is absolutely true. Okay? So ignore what you feel about Tony Robbins and listen to what I have to say here. This is the reason, why do we break out into 80-20? Why is it that 80% of the people will fail, 20% of the people will be modestly to extremely successful, and why do the 1% become superstars? Why do they become rock stars? Why do they become wealthy or successful beyond measure? Here's why. Until the pain of inaction is greater than the pain of action, you will continue to fall short of your goals. I'll say it again. Until the pain of inaction is greater than the pain of action. Until the pain of staying where you are is greater than the pain of failing at creating the life you want, the longer you'll be stuck in mediocrity. See, there are a lot of people who are really afraid of failure, but there are a lot of people who are afraid of success too. Until you decide that it is too painful to be where you are and it is far better to choose another life, even if the potential is worse or the failure is likely, you'll never be motivated. You see, all of us at our core want increase. I don't care who you are or how satisfied you are with your life right now. All of us in some area of our lives want increase. I've talked about this with you before. We might want more friends or just deeper relationships. We might want a better job or more money. We might want happiness or joy or peace of mind. Peace of mind is the same thing as saying you want less stress, right? So it's just a positive spin. I like to be positive with what we do. So we don't want less stress. We want more peace of mind. I don't know what it is, but I promise you, you want it. But you'll never get it if you don't understand the pain of being where you are and the cost of getting where you want to go. Now, I'm being very serious with you because this is important. Okay, this is not a joke. This has to do with how your life is going to turn out. Some of you listen, and I have the benefit when I talk with traders, I'm typically talking with somebody who's 45 to 65 years old. And most of the guys that I would work with were already successful people. So they liked the motivation, they appreciated it because they knew they needed it. But the fact is, these guys were already successful. What they needed is they needed somebody in their corner supercharging them. Because they already knew what it took to be a success. But on this show, I have the benefit of talking to a lot of younger people. Every day I get emails from guys who are in high school, who are going to college, or just starting out. And they're asking me questions about success and telling me about what they're doing and about what they want to accomplish with their lives. And I have the benefit now of talking to a group of people who have a long time horizon here. What we're talking about today is really about what your life is going to look like. And the truth is, even if you're 40 years old or 50 years old right now, you got 30 years or 40 years ahead of you. Get out of here. What are you talking about? If you're 40 years old, you likely have another 40 years of working life left. You're going to live 2 or 3 more working lifetimes. You still have a chance to change everything if you want to. But here's what I want you to understand. We all want exceptionalism. But most of us aren't willing to pay the price. You see, to get what you want, no matter what it is, it's really quite simple. You figure out what you want, you figure out the cost of getting it, and then you pay the price. But most of us, we don't know the cost when we get started. So we set out on this journey that we're not mentally prepared for. We think that we want to get into shape. Talking about the gym, so we'll just keep talking about the gym. We think that we want to be into shape until the alarm goes off at 5 a.m. And actually, if we want to be honest with ourselves, it starts the night before. It starts when we realize, hey, it's 10 o'clock at night and we should be getting to bed, but we decide to stay up just a little bit later, stay out just a little bit longer, have one more glass of wine. finish up with one more menial task that won't really matter in the long run. We think that we want to be fit until we've been at it for 3 weeks in our sporadic gym going, and our non-existent diet that we promised that we would start has resulted in a total of 2-pound weight loss. 3 weeks, 2 pounds of weight loss. Eventually, we do what everybody else does. We quit. You see, your pain of staying the same was less than the pain required to change. It's really simple. Unfortunately, most people don't know what the cost is before they get started, so they're ill-prepared to pay the price. So let me today try and offer you some insights. I told you guys when we got started that this was not going to be supermoto. Now, largely, some of you are probably really excited to hear this, and I really hope so. I hope that this message is going to appeal to the people who need to hear it. And for everybody else, it's going to be largely lost. But I want to try and help you out a little bit. I want to provide you some insight into what you're going to experience and what is going to face you if you want to become the very best, if you want to truly know what your own limits are. First, it's going to be very lonely. Excellence is lonely. There are very few truly exceptional people in this world, and if you manage to be one of them, you will not have many friends. You'll trust few people, and the ones that let you down won't have the chance to do it a second time. You will spend the bulk of your time away from the spotlight, even if that's what you wanted. You'll spend the bulk of your time away from the limelight, locked away by yourself, refining and honing your craft. While others are out partying, while they're binge watching the latest Netflix series, you're going to be in your room, in your office, with your head down. No one will see the price that you are paying to be better today than you were yesterday. Nobody is going to pat you on the back. Nobody is going to tell you how great you are. And the truth is, if you're truly exceptional, you're not going to want it anyway. You're not going to care. Because none of them really know what it took for you to do what you're doing. No one will understand you. They'll say you work too much. You'll have, friends, if you have already changed and you're already working towards this, or if you're deciding that today that this is going to be the day that you get off your ass and you get out there and you do it, one way or another, you're going to have friends that are going to say things to your family, that are going to say things to you that say, live a little. Come on, you're working too much. What are you doing this for? Come back out. They'll say things like, you've changed. You used to be so fun. We used to go out. We used to have a good time, and now you're locked away, and you're just working all the time, and I don't know what to do. It just seems like you're not investing time in our relationship, in our friendship. They won't understand. When you do start to become successful, when you do start to put a little bit of money in your pocket, when you do achieve a little bit of fame and success in your life, they'll tell you to take a little time off. You know, you've earned it. It'll be the same people who told you that you shouldn't be trying to earn it anyway, and now they'll be telling you to take a little bit of time off. But for you, there's no off. Not if you want to truly find the limits of your own abilities. Not if you want to truly know what your mettle is as a man or a woman. No, there's no off. There's no vacation. It's always working, because that's where you feel the greatest, the most fulfilled, the happiest. Now, for me, there are 3 kinds of people in my life. Family, number 1, close friends, and everyone else. Now, family is the difficult one, because family loves you. They want what's best for you, especially if you got mom or pop who are trying to support you, and they're all going to have an idea for what your life ought to be, what your focus should be on, and how you ought to be pursuing that life. And this is true, guys, at 16, and it's true at 50. If you got a parent, they're still telling you the way it ought to be, or the way they see things. And you still feel somewhat obligated to, consider that opinion. Well, they are my mom. This is my dad. He does know more than me. Maybe. But here's the point I'm trying to make to you, is that you're going to have family members who, with the best of intentions, will try and hold you down and hold you back. See, those same people who are telling you to take a little time off, those same people who are telling you to live a little, those people don't realize it, but they're trying to hold you back. They're keeping you from your true potential. You see, at some point in their life, they decided they were going to live a little. They decided they were going to take a little time off. They decided that there was a limit to how hard they were going to work to achieve what they wanted out of their life. And now every time they see you, whether consciously or subconsciously, driving and hustling and grinding, they feel a little worse about themselves. Just a little bit. And this, of course, causes all kinds of problems for them psychologically and mentally, and that results in them telling you, I'm worried about you. You just seem like you're working so much. Are you eating enough? You look skinny. And over and over again, people will step into your life and tell you to slow down, not to try so hard. Relax. And you have to throw that aside, because you will never be great. If you want to do what only 1% of the population is doing, if you want to achieve that level in your life in any area, then you got to look at what the 99% of people are doing, and you got to go the other way. And I got to tell you, when you do that, people, it is lonely. There is nobody there. I can count on one hand, the number of real friends, close friends that I have in my life. People I share everything with. People I trust implicitly. Everyone else is just a person I know. I don't allow myself to be distracted from my goals by people or things that don't move the needle. I don't. And before you go thinking that that's some sort of lonely or sad existence, let me tell you, it is not. It really is not. The relationships that I have are close and deep, and I'm invested in those. And all of these other people who want my time and my attention, they don't get it. I focus on the things that matter and the relationships that matter and the people that matter most to me. And I focus on the things that move the needle and move me closer towards my goal. And more importantly, I'm unapologetic about it. We'll get more to that in a minute. Okay? Number 2. So that's the first thing. You're going to be lonely. Number 2, people are going to criticize you, even hate you, even though they don't have any idea who you are. This is especially true if you work in the industry that I'm in, where I'm a podcaster, I'm a consultant, coach, kind of whether it's trading or business or whatever it is. The second that you start putting yourself out there, you'll start to draw the haters. And they will attack you professionally. They will attack you personally. They will know nothing about you, nothing. They will hear the story second or third hand. They will have heard about somebody who once bought your product. And, of course, they don't know that person. It's just another person online somewhere who told it to them. Or they heard it from a guy who heard it from a guy online. And that will set in their mind an opinion of who you are, and they will be out there attacking you for no better reason than that they have nothing else going on in their lives, that their lives are so shallow and so miserable and so pathetic that the best they can do is spend hours online talking trash on you. The more successful you become, the more your profile is raised in the public eye, the more celebrity and authority you attract for what you do, the more they'll hate on you. And this will happen, ladies and gentlemen, whether you're online in the public eye or whether you're at a company. The more you grind, the more you hustle, the higher you climb, the more people you will leave behind. and the more jealousy and resentment and hatred you will leave in your wake. Never, ever, ever bring yourself down to somebody else's level. You force them to come up to you. You say, this is the standard that I set for myself, and I expect it from all of you. And if you don't want to do it, that's fine, but I'm still going. I'm not coming down to your level. I'm not coming down to your work ethic. You gotta come to me. And if you can't hang, then see ya. That's what it takes. Because those haters are going to be there. Those people who live in mediocrity, who live a life of unfortunate destitution, paycheck to paycheck, misery to misery, one problem to another. That's not you. That's not who you want to be. That's not who you're going to be. And if you want something different, you have to choose not to allow yourself to be dragged down to that level. You will not always succeed. I don't always succeed at this. Sometimes I get dragged into a fight. Sometimes some 12-year-old online pisses me off and I say something that I immediately regret, but it's already out there. But the truth is, the bulk of the time, I don't listen to any of it. I don't pay attention to any of it because none of it matters. None of those people who are wasting their time bashing you are ever going to be in your way. You understand that? See, I never met a hater doing better than me. Something that you need to understand. I never met a hater doing better than me. They're all underneath me. They're all below me. They're all throwing the slings and arrows up at me. They can't hurt me. They're way down there. I'm way up here. They're trying to get up. They're trying to drag me down. They're not trying to raise themselves up. They're trying to pull me down. I won't allow it. They can't hurt me. And your haters can't hurt you either. But you better expect them. You better be ready for them. It's another thing that'll crush you. Other people who have no other desire than to harm you, will break you down mentally. They'll make it so you don't even want to go online. You don't want to read another review because all of that garbage seems to rise to the top. But if you hold out long enough, if you continue to struggle, you continue to drive, you'll start getting the type of comments and the types of emails that you want to hear. Stuff that'll change your life forever. Some guy sent me the other day, a deal the other day, and he just said, I just wanted you to know, you changed my life. He said, I've been struggling as a trader for years and years and years, and he said, I took your course, and it changed my life. And I just want to say thanks. Now, I haven't really taught trading. Left Trade Empowered over about a year and a half ago. Haven't really taught anything large since then. And here's this guy, just out of nowhere, sending me a note. That's powerful. It lets you know that you are doing the right thing in the face of everything, that all the negativity, all the hatred, all the vile, vitriolic resentment and reaction that comes from people who have no idea who you are or what you do, who make a judgment of you because you are in the public eye, and they assume that you're now open for any type of debasement and criticism possible. I want you to know it. I want you to be ready for it, so it's not a surprise, and so you can power through it. But it's going to be lonely, and people are going to be criticized, or people are going to criticize you. Number 3, you will never be content or satisfied. Now, this doesn't mean you're not going to be happy. Okay, that's completely different. You will absolutely be happy. You will be more, if you do it right, you will be happier than you've ever been in your entire life. But you will never be content or satisfied. That's not the way we're built. Okay, we're built different. 1%ers are built different than the other 99. We're not content. We're not satisfied. We want to win over and over again. And as we continue to reach higher and higher levels, we just want to keep going higher and higher. We want to see where the limits are. We want to see how far we can go. Where is our limit? Where do we break down and begin to fail? And then if we do, how do we overcome it the next time? You've got to be prepared for that. I talk about living in the moment, living in the day, recognizing and being grateful for all that you have. I'm standing here as I talk to you today, and I am looking out of the 27th floor of my condo here in Los Angeles, and I am surveying the city. To my right, I can see the Hollywood sign, and to the left, I can see the ocean. Well, almost to the ocean. I can't quite see the ocean, but I can see the edge where Malibu is. And I'm looking across the city. And I just am so grateful for the life that I'm able to lead. So grateful for the opportunities that I have had. I am so grateful for the success and for each and every one of you who's taking the time to listen to me today. But I am not satisfied. I am not content to rest here. No. We're going much higher than this. There are floors above me in this building, and I intend to get there. And if you are a person who is constantly in the pursuit of determining what their own limits is, if you seek exceptionalism, if you want excellence out of your life, then you have to understand that you're not going to be satisfied. You will be happy. You will be grateful, but you will never be satisfied. Understand that your joy is not in the achievement of the goal, because that is fleeting. The joy is in the working towards the goal. The joy is in the life. The joy is in the experience. See, we spend far too much time as people expecting to be happy when things happen. I've spoke about this before, about happily ever after. Oh, at some point I'll meet the guy of my dreams and we'll live happily ever after. Oh, if I could just make $1 million a year, well, then I'll be set and everything will be fine. Well, if I just could get enough money together to buy myself a new car, then I'll be happy. Doesn't work like that. At least not for you and me. You see, the joy doesn't come from the having of the thing. It doesn't come from the success and the accomplishment. Joy is in the journey. Joy is being able to get up every single day and follow what you love, do what you love, be who you want to be. That's where it comes from. As near as I can tell in my life, the greatest joys have come in the experience of life, not in the accomplishment of goals. It's the experience of getting to that next level. When I look back on my life, it wasn't, I used to think that, if I just had X number of dollars in the bank, or, if I just had this thing or that thing, I'll be happy. Never happened that way. I was always happiest when I was in the zone, when I was doing what I loved to do, surrounded by people who appreciated and supported what I was trying to do. I was always happiest when I could turn around and I could provide value to others, when I could show them what my success had done for me and help them do the same. This has by far been my favorite episode so far that I've done in probably 6 months, because I'm really speaking to you from a point and from the heart, from a heartfelt point that I don't think I have in a long time. You see, the joy's in the journey. It's not in the stuff. And you're never going to be satisfied with what you achieve in your life. So be satisfied with the life that you're living, because you're never going to get another moment back. You don't get a redo. Anyway, so what are the positives here? as I wrap up for today. There's lots of negative things. Man, I'm not going to have many friends. People are going to hate me. I'm never going to be satisfied. Well, what's the positive? What is the end result of all of this that we're working for, of achieving exceptionalism, of being excellent in life? Well, here it is. If you manage to do it, you'll be free. Free from the need to put on a face for others. Free from the obligations that the world puts on you. Free from financial struggle. And free to be exactly who you are at your core. It is the freedom to be unapologetic. True freedom is as true as I can see it, as true as I've ever felt it. Imagine never having to put on a face for anybody. Imagine being in a position where you don't have to apologize anymore for how you feel or what you think. Some of you say, well, I don't do that anyway, but we all do it. We all do things out of obligation. We all feel the need to put on a face. But if you do this right, that's unnecessary anymore. It is the most liberating feeling in the world. To just say, I don't care. I am who I am. This is what I want out of my life. This is what I want for myself. This is what I want for those around me. And I don't care what you think about that. You don't matter. It's not harsh. It's not cruel. It's honesty. It's an honesty that if we think about it, and if you're being honest with yourself, you would love to be able to say. How many of you would love to be able to turn to your mother-in-law or to your friend sitting across the table, the chatty Kathy that's not really your friend, but who's constantly around, and that you feel the need because you've been friends since high school to still stay with her and to hang out with her? How would it feel to turn across the table and say, shut up, you don't matter, I don't care what you think? It's liberating. It feels great. Most people will never know what that feels like because they'll never be confident enough in themselves, in what they believe and what they want out of life, to say it. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, my question for you today is, as I leave you, is just simply this. What do you want out of your life? See, it's the 4th. 4 days gone. 96 hours dead. You'll never get them back. What do you want? Once you know what you want, you got to figure out realistically what it's going to cost to get it. And then you got to pay the price. That's the only way you're ever going to be free. We talk about politics, we talk about economics, we talk about legislation and all of these other things. But the truth is, none of that matters. It really doesn't. Your success, your happiness, your life, the value of you is never going to be determined by those things. So what do you want? What are you willing to do to get it? See, I only want to work and talk to people who are committed to that level of excellence. Everybody else, this show for the last several years has really been built around politics and, complaining and discussing the many merits of, the anti-state. Not anymore. Not moving forward. Moving forward, I'm going to challenge you every single day to be better than you were the day before. I'm going to be harsh with you at times because I want you to be the very best that you can be at whatever area of your life that you want increase in. And if that's hard for you, if you're going to get upset, if you're going to complain, well, then, ladies and gentlemen, you and I are going to have a problem. But if you're looking for someone to hold your feet to the fire, someone to inspire you and to help you understand how you achieve what you want, well, then this is the show for you. So welcome to 2019. I'll be back on Monday. Until then, be safe, be good. I'll talk to you then.